From the Opopco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. It's time for our weekly We Pick 'em segment. Barry, we have no games to pick, though, this week, so...
No Army-Navy? You don't want to pick Army-Navy?
Do you?
Are you un-American?
I'll pick Navy.
I'll pick Army.
All right, that's that. Now let's go to our We Pick 'em, and 5 topics, not games, but we're going to pick stuff anyway. First off, Mike Stoops' landing spot, Barry. Is it going to be Ohio State or Nebraska?
Well, if you let the Sooner fans vote, it's going to be Norman, Oklahoma. I personally don't think Mike's coming. I think Ohio State or Nebraska, a likely landing spot. I'm going to take the Buckeyes. I think it's a great fit for Mike Stoops to get back into the coaching job under Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer runs the offense. Mike Stoops would run the defense. Luke Fickell's going to be around, the interim head coach, but I think Mike Stoops would do well in Columbus. I think it'd be a great spot for Mike.
Don't you remember a day when the Ohio State job seemed very tainted? Nobody wants to go to Ohio State, we said. And then Penn State broke. And Ohio State suddenly didn't seem quite so bad. I think he's going to go to Nebraska, though. Bo Pelini, obviously there at Nebraska, one of Mike Stoops, all the Stoops brothers, really, childhood friends. They all grew up in Youngstown, Ohio. So I go with Nebraska. But, you know, Barry, Mike Stoops could do a lot worse than landing at either of these spots. These are 2 really good jobs. All right, let's look at topic number 2. More likely to get a head coaching job, Barry. Is it going to be Brent Venables from OU or Todd Monken from OSU?
Well, I think it's going to be Todd Monken. And
I do too.
The answer is, the reason is this. Presidents, athletic directors, fans, everybody love offense. They hire offensive coordinators to be head coaches. So, you know, Bob Stoops has lost 1 defensive guy to be a head coach. He's lost 5 guys on the offensive side as head coaches. So I think people love Monken. He's a solid candidate. Great resume, great production this year.
Yeah.
He's worked for Les Miles. He's worked in the NFL. I think it's probably going to be Todd Monken.
I do too, and I don't know if it's going to be this year necessarily. Todd Monken really high on the wish list at Illinois. He's from the state, obviously that could potentially be a good fit just going back home. But, you know, the thing with Brent Venables, Barry, I think for years we've thought that he was going to be a guy to get a head coaching job, and it hasn't happened. And it's almost like he's sort of gotten locked in, like jobs come open and people don't even think about him. I think he would be a great head coach. I'm just not sure athletic directors and presidents are even thinking about him because he is so synonymous with OU at this point.
Well, and one thing about Brent is he seems so old now, but he's only 40 still. You know,
that's not old.
He got started at such a young age. He's been around forever, but he's still in the prime of his candidacy. So I think it's still possible, but it's going to have to be a school that'll take a flyer on a defensive guy.
Yep, going to have to hurry on that one. All right, back to our topics. This one, going to Kansas, Barry. Who is going to go to Kansas? Could it be Mark Stoops? Could it be Charlie Weis? What do you think?
I think I'd like to let Bob Stoops vote. I think that'd be a great thing to get inside Bob's head and see, hey, do you want Mark Stoops to be the coach at Kansas? Because he loves his brother. He wants what's best for his brother. He'd love to see his brother get a good head coaching job. But does he want to compete against his brother? The answer is no, because he goes into convulsions every week when he plays against one of his brothers.
When Mark was a defensive coordinator, or is the defensive coordinator for Florida State, he almost lost it. What if they were head coaches going against each other?
I think in his heart of hearts, Bob Stoops would say, hey, leave this one alone and take the next one, Charlie Weis. And I think Kansas is more likely to hire a Charlie Weis, a Phil Fulmer, somebody, frankly, on the offensive side of the ball.
We'll go back to what you said about Brent Venables and Todd Monken, and I think that is right. People are really interested in offense, and Charlie Weis, obviously, things did not go well at Notre Dame, but I think he might have success at Kansas. You know, here's a school that they've started to do some things, build facilities that were so lacking. They did get some fans when Mark Mangino was winning there. I think people have shown that they will support that team, Barry. But they have to score. In this league, you have to score points, and they didn't score much with Turner Gill at the helm. All right, back to the We Pick 'em. This one, this is going to be fun. National Coach of the Year. Barry, Mike Gundy, or your favorite, Bill Snyder? Who you got?
I guess I'm swimming upstream. I mean, I thought Big 12 Coach of the Year was clear. I don't know, a guy's coaching at a school that's never won the conference title, is picked 3rd in the preseason, and wins the Big 12.
Outright, by the way.
Outright. So you vote in Bill Snyder. I love Bill Snyder. I have a long and distinguished career of proclaiming Bill Snyder the greatest coach of all time. But 17-1 in votes for Big 12 Coach of the Year, I don't get it. I think Mike Gundy's the National Coach of the Year. He won the Big 12, first conference title outright for the Cowboys ever. Got the Cowboys to number 3 in the BCS. a field goal missing by that much is why they're not in New Orleans. I think it's Mike Gundy.
You're off the Christmas card list at Bill Snyder's house, by the way. But they went head-to-head. K-State went to Oklahoma State. Great game, one of the best games of the year. And Oklahoma State won head-to-head. These two teams squared off, and Mike Gundy's squad was better. And Barry, I think you're right. I think the fact that OSU won the conference and nearly went to the national championship game, in fact, some people think they should be in the national championship game, I think should hold some weight. But here's what it is. It's exceeding expectations. Mike Gundy got a lot of awards last year because the Cowboys started so low in the preseason rankings and finished so well. It's the other way this year. They were pretty high, finished pretty high. I think it's if you exceed expectations, get you National Coach of the Year. And if it shouldn't, I think that's worth arguing.
You're right. That's why Bill Snyder's the leading candidate, one Big 12 Coach of the Year, and that's what people vote on. But I just think when a guy makes history like this, Bill Snyder exceeding expectations, Bill Snyder finishing second, Bill Snyder going 10-2, we've seen that before. I've never seen Oklahoma State win a conference title before Saturday night, and neither have you.
All right. Finally, our final We Pick 'em segment today. Heisman Trophy winner, Barry, is it going to be Robert Griffin, RG3, or Andrew Luck?
I was hoping it was going to be Robert Griffin, and I was consigned to the belief that somebody else would win. But all the straw polls are telling me Robert Griffin might win, and what a great story that would be. Somebody from Baylor winning the Heisman, it would be fantastic. And somebody who's not in the national title picture winning the Heisman. We've accorded this award now in recent years to whoever's on the best player on one of the contending teams. Baylor's not been in the national title hunt all season, and yet people have recognized what an unbelievable transforming quarterback he is. I think it'd be great if Robert Griffin wins, and apparently he's going to.
Well, I think it'd be fantastic if he won too, but I didn't vote for him. I voted for Andrew Luck. So I think Andrew Luck deserves to win. I think there are 4 very deserving candidates this year. I actually voted Brandon Weeden ahead of Robert Griffin on my ballot, Barry. It's because I looked at the numbers and I thought, people do talk about that transformative power that RG3 has, no doubt about it. But you're not telling me that Brandon Weeden doesn't have some transformative powers of his own? Take Mr. Weeden off that team at Stillwater. And the quarterbacks they have on campus right now, you telling me they're 11-1? I think they're lucky to be 6-6. His numbers were better in most departments than Robert Griffin, and he played less quarters, folks, a lot less quarters than Robert Griffin. So I'm going Andrew Luck. But I think both of these guys would be fantastic winners.
Well, I think you're off the Clinton Shelf Christmas card list. I mean, you're putting the Cowboys at 6-6 with Shelf at quarterback.
No fans in Enid. I don't have any. I'm sorry.
But no, what you say about Weeden is right. And, if Andrew Luck wins, it's fantastic for us.
Transformative quarterback there, too.
And we're going to the Fiesta Bowl. It's fun to cover a Heisman winner at a bowl game. But I just think Robert Griffin, as much as Weeden has done for OSU, it's hard to imagine any quarterback, maybe in recent history at any school, doing what Robert Griffin has done for Baylor.
We'll see you on Saturday night. Hey, Press Row is brought to you by Cox High-Speed Internet, and be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.